Hey guys, welcome back to Diesel Creek. This beautiful gem right here is my 1991 Ford Ranger STX. This was my very first pickup truck. I bought this thing for 500 bucks back in, I don't know, 2009, 2010, somewhere in there. Basically all that was wrong with it when I got it was the transmission. The guy had changed the clutch and apparently didn't tighten up the bolts in the bell housing, and the transmission had backed away from the engine, and it would start up and run fine, but it was making a terrible grinding sound, and the guy just wanted rid of it. So I gave him 500 bucks, brought it home, threw a couple bolts in the bell housing, and it ran like a dream, and I beat the living snot out of this truck every day that I drove it as a daily driver. This thing's definitely got more off-road miles than on, and it, whatever I was, 17 I think I was when I had this truck. Really, I mean, it's held up extremely well. She looks a little worse for the wear these days. This fender, I remember this fender got crunched in because I was driving down the road one day, and the whole wheel assembly over here, I mean the hub, the brake, the caliper, everything ripped right off the truck. And I skidded to a stop on 3 wheels, and the wheel kept on rolling, slinging brake fluid as it went. I got a lot of fond memories in this truck. Unfortunately, the reason it's out here is because I couldn't bring myself to scrap it because of the memories, and it's just too far gone to ever try and restore or put back on the road, or you know, whatever. It's even so far gone that it's probably not even really good for a beater around here. But there are some old videos in the channel if you want to go back and check out some of those back when this old gem was on the road. As you can see, the floor is completely gone in it. If I were to sit in this seat, I guess the frame rail would catch me, but it's not real good, you know. You're probably liable to stick your foot through the floor and get it caught on a branch or a tree stump or something as you're driving. The mice have gotten to the wiring pretty hard here. I think this stuff goes, yeah, this just might be for the speaker system. But yeah, there's definitely some serious damage going on here. But it has not been run since, I believe, 2013, 14, so something like that. You can see it's been used for target practice, and a lot of those holes were there when I was still driving it on the road. But she's definitely seen better days. I even still got my old Dixie horn plumbed in here. Oh, everybody in town knew who I was with the Dixie horn. So there's the old powerhouse under the hood here. That's a 2.9 liter. And they got a mixed bag of nuts review on them, but I tell you what, this one never let me down. So I was driving this thing for over a year with the oil pressure pretty low on the gauge, and I actually got a little froggy on a back road one night, and I kind of rolled her over, and it ran upside down for a couple seconds before I was able to find my way to the ignition and shut it off. And we rolled it back over. No damage, of course. None of the dents that are on this truck are actually from the time I rolled it. There was literally no damage at all. It was amazing. The mirrors folded in and stuff flew out of my bed. That was the worst that happened. And so we flipped it back over, and of course I fired it back up, and it smoked a little bit, but the oil pressure gauge went up to like half, and I had great oil pressure for the rest of the time I drove this truck. Yeah, anyway, this engine hasn't run. This truck hasn't run since about 2013, I think, 2014, somewhere in there. And I'm gonna see if we can't get it fired up today. Let's check our fluids. Maybe. Well, I can't get the radiator cap off, so we don't need to check that one. Engine oil, thick and black. Yeah, that's all the fluids I need to check. We need a batteria and a solenoid because it's busted plumb off over here. The sins of my youth, huh? Wow. Hey, it worked. Probably still works, honestly. Seems to be lots of shadows on everything today, so hopefully you guys are getting a good picture. Got a jumper pack here. We'll go ahead and connect this thing up. Pretty sure I know that's the ground. So if memory serves down here, this is what's left of our old solenoid. I think the solenoid was giving me trouble and I was trying to jump it. You know, you put a screwdriver between the posts, and I accidentally broke it off rather than jumping it. So I actually have a old one in the truck. Let's throw it in here and hope for the best. I don't really know why I parked this truck. I think it was just lack of time to run it, lack of need. I know I ripped the brake lines off of it, running it around out here. I think I caught them on a tree stump or something, and I think the tires went flat on me. And I just kind of lost interest on it for a little while. But I've never not loved this truck. I mean, to this day, I still think about this truck a lot. And that's why I bought another one. You guys haven't seen that yet. Well, I guess you did see it a while back. I just haven't got to work on it yet. It made a cameo in a video. Well, we got another genuine Motorcraft used solenoid here. I have no idea if it's any good, but at the very least, we'll be able to jump it like I did to break the last one. That works for a while until you get a little too frisky with the screwdriver. I have another old Ford out here. One of them, I don't remember if it's this one or the other one, actually have the screwdriver I used to jump it stuck into the dash. That way your key is always handy. Okay. That guy hooked back up. Our starter hot. Good enough. This is our fuse panel hot. Get that guy on there. And if I had proper leads, we would also connect our hot from the battery to this post, but I do not. So what we're gonna do, is hook up a hot from our jump pack. Ah, I can hear everything juicing up when I connected it, so that's a good sign. Lots of relays clackling in there. Oh, ah, I bumped the other post and it actually started to crank the engine. But it'd be cool if it worked with a key, so let's go try that. I am going to go ahead and pull this air boot off the intake, just in case there's some mouse nests or something in there. We don't need to suck up anything, because this motor is a backup for the other Ranger. Not that it's a very good backup. Oh yeah. A little bit of corrosion in there. That's fine. Oh, feels like the throttle might be stuck. That's not good. Oh, yeah, that should move freely, and it's not. Let's get some WD on that. Sugar up all over the butterfly in there. Dropping my tools. There we go. Just moving around now. Yeah. All right, I'm excited. Let's just go ahead and give her. Key's already on. We got to check engine light. That's a good sign. It sounds like it might go. And I want to preface this with, I have not done anything to the fuel system. I don't even know if there's fuel in this thing, and if it is, it's over 10 years old. The gauge is reading full, and I'm sure that I didn't fill the tank. Go ahead and give her a little ether assistance. I'm also not hearing a fuel pump, so that could be why I quit running it too. Maybe the fuel pump give out, or it might just be a wire chewed through. So we got nothing yet. I'm gonna go ahead and check and see if we're getting power up to our coils packs, and see if I can't find a blown fuse or something for the fuel pump. So I checked all our fuses first, and I didn't find any blown fuses for the ignition. But I came over here to check the harness, and I think I did find our problem. You guys see that wire there? I barely pulled on it, and it just came right out of the connector. So I'm betting, yeah, it looks like all three of these wires are coming out of that connector. So I'll go ahead and pull this connection off and see if we can't fix that up. All right, I was able to get the connector out and re-crimp it on some fresh copper, so hopefully that works. It wasn't much to look at, so I didn't bother to film it. Let's hope this guy works this time, huh? All right, take two. Might not need the ether, but why not? I'm gonna guess we don't have spark yet. Gonna guess there's a problem there. Oh, a little bit of ether. So we do have spark. We're just not getting fuel. I'm not hearing any fuel pump, so let's go ahead and see if we can't find the reason for that. So I've checked all the fuses. We got no bad fuses. Everything's good. So now I need to gain access to the fuel pump, which is right in this area. So we're gonna have to get rid of this bed. Now that we've got easy access to our bed here, we'll go ahead and take a peek at our fuel pump configuration here. All right, so these wires, we got an orange, a pink, with a black stripe, a black, and a yellow. With the bed off, we can also see an immediate reason why this truck is no longer drivable, huh? Yeah, that's strong, huh? Gotta love Pennsylvania. I forgot about this too. There's an original body mount. On the other side, they rotted out and I replaced them with hockey pucks. Try and get our fuel pump connector popped off here. I've had this off before because I had fuel delivery issues in the past, and I believe it was a fuse or relay at that time. This time I don't think it is. There we go. We'll go ahead and get our meter and see if we're getting juiced any of these. If one can apply common sense to this connector, I would say black should be our ground, so we'll probe that guy. And I would... pink looks like the hottest, or the thickest wire, so I'm gonna bet that that's our hot, and the rest is a sending unit. So we're only getting 6.9 volts off of that. Alright, let's give this one more shot here. Hopefully we get a fuel pump action. Nothing. So I think our fuel pump has gone bye-bye. Make a special spanner to take these rings off. I sure don't have one, do you? Seems to me a hammer and a chisel works just fine. Alright, what's behind door number 1 here? Oh. It was like stuck to the bottom of the tank. I'm guessing there's some moisture in there. Holy. No wonder it doesn't work. The filter sock just fell off the bottom of it. It's a great sign. A lot of corrosion on our connections to the pump here. And black and looks like I was correct in our wiring guess. I got a black and an orange on the inside here, but the orange turns into the pink and black in the harness. Let's go ahead and put 12 volts straight to the pump and see if that'll fire it up. Although it does not look good. Ugh. Orange fuel coming out of there. Oh, I love it. The float broke off the sending unit. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. At least with the bad fuel, we don't have to worry about sparks as much. All right. We've got groundage. We've got hot, and we got nothing. Let's give it a little tap with a hammer. Well, I tapped on it enough to feel better about myself. Sometimes that honestly does make a difference. You always got to feel better about yourself. Nothing. Real bummer. I gotta run out for some other parts anyways for another project, so I guess I'll stop by the garage and pick up the fuel pumps I got and see what we see if we have anything that'll work here. Alright, I stopped home and grabbed the fuel pumps I was talking about. These actually came out of an F-150. They're quite a bit different, but the wiring is the same. I don't know. Maybe they'll work just enough to get this thing started. I'm not holding my breath on it. Hopefully I can get this thing down in here enough to even touch the stinking fuel. The fuel pump is pumping, but I don't know that it's in the fuel. Okay, I'm about to create one of the most down and dirty setups that I've ever done. And if this doesn't say I'm here to party, then I don't know what does. Go ahead and cram our fuel pumper down in this thingy. And we'll probably, you know, just bungee this thing up here about this level so I can reach the fuel lines over to it. And we'll dump some gasoline down there and give her. This is just about the definition of run what you brung. And I didn't brung too much. I wasn't really bargaining for this kind of fight today. I kind of figured this thing would treat me as good as it used to, but I guess since I neglected her all these years, that was a poor assumption. Ah, it broke like bungee. You don't need to worry about that little bit of antifreeze left in the bottom of the jug there. That is more than enough to party for the length that we're gonna. Take 4, 5, I don't know. Cross your fingers. Our fuel pump's trying still. We're gonna give her some more go-go juice. See if she just needs a little prime for a good time. That don't get a party going, nothing will. Now that was all the ether. She wants to go, she's just not getting fuel. I'm not convinced we're getting any fuel pressure up here, so I'm going to go ahead and push this Schrader valve on the rail, maybe, and see if we get any spurt of fuel out of there. There you go. Did you hear all that air? Still pushing a bunch of air. That's part of our issue. We'll pressurize the system again. And a lot less air that time. Seeming pretty decent. Let's go ahead and give it a go. It's so close. So I'm thinking to myself, it's getting enough pressure to fire the injectors because it is popping a little bit, but it just won't catch all the way. So our pump might not be properly sized to run this engine, A. B, there is a fuel filter in line up here that I'm sure is just about plumb full of junk, but luckily we have easy access to it. So I'm going to take it out of there and see if I can't blow through it, because it might be allowing enough pressure but not enough flow. So yeah, thanks to our easy access here, I'm able to just flop it up and go ahead and pull that thing out of there. So we should be able to just blow through this thing, and we cannot. So that might be our issue right there. And since we're not really worried about filtration at this point, and I don't have any other way to splice the fuel lines together, I'm just going to run a drill bit straight through this thing, and we should be set up for some full flow. All right, we got our our drill doctor fast flow fuel system here. Oh, I can whistle through it now. All right, we got our performance fuel filter system back installed in the truck, and I've got high hopes about this now. Cycled the key a few times to make sure we had fuel pressure. Cross your fingers, cross your toes. Hell, you can even cross your legs. Might have air in the fuel system again, we have to bleed. No, not any air. Ay. It is right there. It wants to so bad. I don't want to accept defeat on this, but I'm really starting to think it's probably a computer problem. We've got fuel, we've got air, we've got spark. It's either a timed issue or something else in the computer, and it's really not worth my time to sit here and diagnose. It was supposed to just be a fun will it start video, and it's turned into a frustrating endeavor. And yeah, I mean, as you can see, the truck's really not worth sinking a lot of time into. Well, I'm gonna give her one more go here, and then I'm gonna have to call it quits if she doesn't go. I really hate to give up on the old girl. I got a lot of love for it, but it's not really worth investing some time into. It's mainly just gonna be parts, and that's the whole reason I drug it out here in the first place. I just thought this would be a fun little endeavor, and I really didn't think it would take all this much. We'll give her one more shot though. Yep, that's the end of the line for old Red. My battery's plumb wore down to the point where it don't want to crank now. And I hate to give up on the old girl, like I said, but I'm running out of daylight, my battery's died. And the most frustrating part of this is that you can hear it. It's right there. It wants to go, but something's not right. It's got to be like a cam position sensor or a crank position sensor, something like that. And it's not quite jiving quite right. Bonus footage. Let's see if we can at least get my old Dixie horn to work. This was a 10-minute custom-made grill that actually I think looks pretty sharp on these trucks. Not that these are real awesome-looking trucks to begin with, but look good enough. Did all I needed as a young man. Oh, this is the jankiest of janky setups I had. Oh man. Ugh. Terminals are completely rusted over. I don't have a whole lot of hope for that. Hopefully the motor itself isn't all seized up. What this is a little teeny air pump that pushes out air to the musical horn to make the Dixie whistle. Yep, I was that guy. I'm still that guy. A little more access here. A true showman of backwood engineering here. As a teenager, apparently I just wire tied everything together. I didn't even use self-tappers. Nope, tie wire. correction, mechanics wire. Because when you're doing it for mechanical reasons, it's mechanics wire. Had to tear the motor apart, it was locked up. So guys, I know I'm a failure, but thumbs up for effort. And if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Plenty more videos like this, better ones where things actually work out. And I'll catch you guys on one of those. Thanks for watching. Later.